This is Rockin' with Jam Man. It's with Mychael Gabriel. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Jam man, I'm so great to be here, man. I've been looking forward to it. I gotta say, I watched a couple of your interviews and I am a fan, dude. I'm a fan. And I know this is your interview, but I have a couple questions for you as well. So
Okay, go ahead.
yeah, well, so first of all, how old are you?
11.
11?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, and you have your own like radio station, podcast channel and everything?
Yeah.
Man, that is awesome. Like, so what inspired you to do this?
I uh I was kind of lonely during the pandemic,
Sure.
and uh, and I wanted to start doing this, but also my dad was an interviewer too. And I always would ask my dad, like, ask him this, and my dad was like, "How about you go do it yourself?"
Dude, that is so dope. Man, you're living the dream. That is so cool. So how many interviews have you done so far?
Around 200.
Wow, dude, that is amazing. Like do you understand like what an accomplishment that is?
I guess. I think
Man,
it's
you're 11 years old, man. Seriously, the sky is the limit for you, man. That is so cool.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That is awesome. Like, so what are some of the things that you've learned like through doing 200 interviews?
Um, I learned just to go with the flow.
Yeah.
First interview, I was very nervous, very scared.
Yeah. And now you're
Yeah,
old hat at it. You're a
yeah,
veteran. Nothing gets ruffles your feathers. You're like, I just roll with the punches.
yeah. Roller
Yeah.
coaster. Um,
But we started, you had mentioned you had gotten into boxing.
it's been fun boxing. I just
Yeah.
had a session. I'm all.
Yeah. But it's kind of like the interviews, like you said, you have to roll with the punches.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you see what I did there. Yeah. See, I got you.
Mhm.
I got you, man. Yeah, man. Love it. And how'd you come up with the name?
Um, my dad always calls me Jam, so I just thought Jam
Oh,
Man.
that's dope. That's cool. I love it. Jam man.
My real
You
name is Ramsey.
Ramsey. Oh, I love that. Man, you just like hitting it on 10 on with the names.
It's actually how would you spell my name?
I mean, I would spell it Ramsy, but EY. But how is it spelled?
Remzi.
Dude, that is super cool. See, you got the cool spelling. You got the channel. Man, you were made for entertainment.
Thanks. It's Turkish, so that's why it's weird. Everybody tries to say it like the American way when I tell them it's RE, so they're going like Remzi. So Remzi then, and it's Remzi. It's
Dude,
pretty
I love the spelling because I spell my name kind of weird. My name is spelled with a Y, so instead of Michael, it's Mychael, and it trips people up sometimes. I've gotten called Michelle sometimes. I've gotten called uh all sorts of different names growing up, and now most of the time it's pretty rare when it happens now. But man, it can be a tough time. And then on top of that, my first name is actually Sir. So it's Sir Michael, like a knight.
that's so much at yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine like you're walking down the street and someone's like, "Hey, Michelle, how you been?"
Right. Yeah. I know it would irritate the crap out of me if I'm honest. Like when I was a kid, I'm like, yo, no, it's Michael. Come on now. It's not that hard. We just replaced the I with the Y. Come on.
Come on,
Right.
it's not that hard.
I know it's not that hard. You just got to put a little effort.
I would say, sir.
Yeah. So it's funny. I should have thought of that when I was a kid. Just go by Sir. And then everybody just calls me Sir, you know?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Oh, it's actually my name. How about that?
All right, sir. It's time for my question, sir.
Yeah, sure, sure.
For those who are not familiar with you and that are watching, tell us about yourself.
Ooh, so I am a musician and an artist and songwriter and engineer, I guess. I've been working in the industry for a long time since I was 16 years old. I've always had an interest in music, and always grown up around music. So my parents, they worked in the industry as well. They worked on the Purple Rain tour with Prince and Sheila E, and that's actually how they met. And so my connection with music has, I've had a one strong connection since I was a kid. And so I just kind of grew up in this and always had an interest and passion for songwriting. And that eventually turned into me wanting to learn how to engineer my own records. And then that turned into me working for different artists in the industry and on television shows and movies and different things. And then, kind of like you had mentioned during the pandemic, you said, well, I want to do something different, and that's what I said. I said, you know what? I'm going to put out my own record. I've been writing all these songs and recording music for all these people for over the years. So I said, I'm just going to do it myself. Shoot, come on now.
Can't be that hard, can it?
Yeah, it can't be that hard,
So congratulations on your new album, Genesis.
Yeah, Genesis. Yeah, I'm excited about that. That was my passion project. You talk about this being a passion project of yours, this channel, this podcast. Genesis was kind of that for me. So it's a 12 track album, with multi-genre album that I worked on over the course of the pandemic.
Your single "Let There Be Light" sounds a little like Lenny Kravitz meets Bruno Mars.
You think so?
I believe so.
Do you like it? Do you dig it?
I
Yeah,
dig it.
thumbs up.
Yeah, I shovel it. I don't
That's
dig
cool.
it.
Oh, well, thank you, man. Yeah, no, it's a track that's just kind of inspired by music that I like listening to. There's a little bit of like, I'm sure you're familiar with some like 1970s rock, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It had that sort of influence, and that's some of the music that I love. So like on this record, I wanted to put sounds that kind of inspired me and sounds that I grew up listening to on the record, how I would do it. And so that's Let There Be Light is one of those songs.
So tell me about this album and what it means to you.
Man, it means a lot of things, because we were all going through a journey of sorts over the last three years now, almost. And so I look at this album, it's a journey. It's the first step of a larger journey, because for me, Jam Man, honestly, I've been writing songs, since I was your age, man. And so it's been a long time coming for me, being able to kind of put it out in the universe, so to speak. So this journey, on a personal note, it's this record is just that. It's a first step in a much larger journey. I'm so excited for people to be able to share in this with me, and I hope you guys stick around, because there's more steps in this journey. There's more records, there's more singles, there's more track, there's more fun to have in this experience.
So your dad went from Prince's bodyguard and worked all the way to being his manager. How did that all come about?
I know, right? Isn't that kind of cool?
Growing up, did you hang out with Prince at all?
So he would come to the house, we would go to Paisley Park, we would go to a show. But yeah, I mean, he was around, but it didn't, I'm just a kid at the time. I don't know that there's anything super special about it or super unique about it, so I'm looking at I'm experiencing all these things through the eyes of a child, so it just kind of seemed normal at the time. And I look back at it now and I go, wow, that was kind of unique. That was kind of cool. So, I'm just, I'm filled with a lot of gratitude for, the different, the uniqueness of that situation and the things I got to experience,
What are some of the stories you remembered about Prince?
Ooh, so some, when I was a little bit older that kind of come to mind, um, I had some interactions in my younger adult years where I got to, help out at a live performance. We did one at Coachella when he played there. And then we did some stuff in the studio as well. where I was more just kind of a fly on the wall and just kind of observing, just and it's a kind of special place to be in that type of environment with somebody of, that sort of like a musical icon. And so some of the memories I have is just I remember just kind of being in awe and just kind of watching, the musicians and jam with each other, the musical conversations, the interaction, the jokes and the laughs in the studio. Prince would talk about, feeling versus sometimes like technicality, so like an instrument is a part of you could say it's a part of your soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like it's just a transducer, it's a conduit for you to be able to get what's inside here out, right? It's just that's what the instrument's job is. So, sometimes we shouldn't be so focused on playing what's in our heads. We should be playing with what's in our hearts, and that's one of the, biggest takeaways that I got for sure.
Did you always knew that you could sing?
Me?
Yes.
I've just been, I was that kid that would sing in the shower, that would sing in the car to their favorite song, that would just sing all the time. But I never really got I didn't use it in a professional setting a whole lot, I'm a guitarist, so I tour, I do a lot of live shows, because I tour with Sheila E. I'm her lead guitarist. So I do that, and I do some background vocals and whatnot, and then I also engineer and mix and whatnot. But I've always sung on all the songs that I've written, and any songs that I've written for somebody else, I always sing the demos as well. So I always had an affinity for singing. So for me, I've always sung, but I'm glad to be able to share, my voice with people on material that I released myself this time.
Ever sing with Prince?
No, I never sang, and never played in the band.
Dang, I think you would have been an amazing band member.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That would have been fun. That would have been really, really fun.
Might have been like the vice singer. I don't know if they do that. Do they do that stuff in bands?
I don't maybe some.
Oh, maybe you guys can be like, when they always sing, like the band sings together.
Like a
But like,
duet.
yeah.
See, that would have been cool.
Yeah.
That would have been something to remember for sure.
When doves cry. Yeah.
Oh, I have another question for you. Do you play anything?
I played the drums and I
Play
played
the drums?
guitar.
Nice. So how long have you been playing each of those instruments?
I've been playing guitar since 5th grade, so about 2 years.
Nice. Very cool. What about the drums?
Uh, Drums. I was in band actually, so and that
Oh,
was also in
nice.
5th grade. So I've been playing that for 2 years too.
2 years, man. Okay, so do you have any singles out? Do you have anything I can go listen to?
No.
You cooking anything in the kitchen?
Listen to Hard Rock Blues. That's I'm one of the percussion. Well,
Really?
it's sung by everybody, but I'm one of the drummers that
Oh, nice.
it was
Okay.
really
Hard Rock Blues. So if I search it up, how would I find it?
just search up Hard Rock Blues on YouTube.
Hard Rock Blues on YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna look at it. And everybody watching, you go look it up too. Hard Rock Blues.
It's like a common school thing, but I
Uh-huh.
didn't do it during the concert.
Nice. Very cool.
It was fun. It was fun.
That's awesome.
And it's a lot more pressure with percussion. I'm not like trying to say drums are the most important, but with band
It's the foundation of a band.
yeah, it's the heartbeat of the band.
It is.
We always conduct all the saxophone players. We conduct everybody basically because
Yep.
if we mess up, the beat or the tempo is off and that ruins the entire song.
It's true. I would agree that it's probably the most important part of the band. For sure. Yeah, definitely. It's the heartbeat. It's the foundation. It's the foundation for the house. you know? So if you're building your house on sand, it's going to fall over, you know, it's that foundation has to be rock solid. So yeah, I'm excited to check it out. So wait, so what's your favorite instrument? If you had to choose, do you like guitar better? Do you like drums better?
I have more practice with drums, but if
Mm-hmm.
I really got into guitar, what I think sounds better,
Mm-hmm.
guitar, because I'm probably gonna say the name right out. Deep Purple or
Oh yeah.
dun dun dun
Yeah.
dun
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 da da.
dun
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 da da.
dun dun.
Love it. It's
Yeah,
a classic.
really is.
Yeah, absolutely. Who are some of your favorite guitarists?
What am I guitarist or
Y-
one of my guitars?
yeah, no, who's one of your favorite guitar players?
Um, Bumblefoot's not a guitar player, but he's definitely a bass player. But I
Mm-hmm.
really like him.
Oh, nice, nice. You should check out I'm gonna so a little bit of homework.
Okay.
So Joe Satriani.
Okay.
When I first found Joe Satriani when I was a kid, I was probably about your age. I was like, what? I didn't even know the guitar could sound like this. It just blew my mind. BB King, if you're into blues, I mean, legend. Jimi Hendrix, of course, right?
Mhm.
Prince, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy Page. Uh, yeah, but I'll send you. I'll have to send you a list. But yeah, check out some of those guys.
Is your dad still in charge there?
At over at Paisley?
Yes.
No, he is not. No.
And your mom is Sheila E's co-writer on songs. Is that true?
Yeah, she's written a few co-written a few of her songs. Yes, absolutely. One of the notable ones is it's called Hold Me. You can check out that one. But yeah, she's credited as a co-lyricist on a few of her tracks actually.
And now you are her co-producer.
Yeah, so so like I was saying a little bit of my history. I've been working with Sheila E for since I was 16 or 17 years old. And so it's been a long time for me. And I started off she's my godmother. Our families have been connected, you know, ever since the Purple Rain tour that I had mentioned, right? And so I called her when I was a little bit older and I said, "Hey, you know, can I have an internship over at your studio in LA? You know, this is something I'm thinking I'm interested in and I'd love to just kind of be a fly on the wall." And she said, "Sure." And so at first I was cleaning up garbage cans and just helping out around the studio any way that I could. And this was around the same time I had graduated from audio engineering school. And so I went to audio engineering college here in Minneapolis. And so I went to help her out over there in LA. And then her engineer had to leave to go out on tour. And so then she asked me, she's like, "Hey, do you know how to run any of this equipment here at the studio?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then she liked what I did so much that, you know, I stuck around for a long time. And, we've been working together ever since on and off. And now, fast forward uh, however many years, that's turned into a whole career for me in working, with other artists and in film and television and continuing to tour with Sheila. Like I just flew back from LA today, actually, right in time, right just in time for this interview. Yeah.
You were basically, hurry up! I got an interview. Come
Yeah.
on, go, 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 go,
I know.
go.
I was telling the pilot, I said, "Listen, I have a very special interview with Jam Man and I cannot be late." And so he put the pedal to the metal. He turned on some AC/DC on the airplane. Everybody was going crazy and we just flew.
He's gonna be like, expect some heavy timbers. Um, on the Chappelle show, are those stories real about Prince?
You know what's funny? I asked my dad. Yeah, I'm sure you're kind of referring to the basketball uh skit,
Yeah.
right? And I asked him, actually, the first time I remember being in the living room, the first time he saw that when it first originally aired, and he was laughing so hard. And I asked him, I said, I noticed obviously he was laughing. I said, so tell me more about that. He said, so much of that is true. That is what happened. And my dad was actually a part of that basketball game, and they did have pancakes after. It's more his story to tell than mine, but it's a hilarious skit, but one of those that does have a lot of truth to it.
Are you doing a big tour?
Dude, I cannot wait to do a tour on some of this music that I've released. That's been part of the thing that I've been excited most about. So that's coming in 2023. I'm going to be touring with my own band, and we're going to have a lot of fun. And I hope that you can come to a show. So wait, where are you located?
Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay, it's happening.
Home of the Wings.
Yeah, when I come through, I'm going to be hitting up Jam Man. And maybe, yeah, dude, it's happening. Okay. And maybe guitar, drums, you let me know what you feel most comfortable playing. I would love to invite you on stage even.
Seriously?
Yeah, dude. Come on, man. We can jam. Okay. You're Jam Man. Come on. Okay. I'm going to be in your city and we're not going to jam? Come on. Okay. It's got to happen.
What is it touring after a pandemic? Have you toured at all?
Yeah. It was different, at first, because like we were talking earlier, I think a lot of people felt lonely, kind of being isolated for, such an extended period of time. So then when things started first opening up, it was hard. People had a hard time figuring out, how do I celebrate again? How can we all be together like this and have a good time? And it took some adjustment. There was an adjustment period for a lot of people, but now things are getting a lot more back to normal, and people are enjoying themselves, and we're enjoying being on stage, playing for people. It's a part of my life that I didn't realize how much I missed until it was gone. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we're touring. We're touring. Plenty.
Yeah. I've been to a few shows, and fans seem more into the shows after not being able to rock out for years. I remember at the Foghat concert, everybody was dancing.
Yeah.
It was
there's is cause for celebration now, because we can be together again, as opposed to being so far apart, and music is one of those things. It's like a universal language, right? There's songs that aren't even in English that I enjoy, because I don't need to know exactly what they're saying, but I can feel the soul and spirit behind what they're saying, right? In the song. It just speaks to me so much in such a profound way. And so I feel like music is a unifying force. Look at, we're having this interview because of our connection to music, right? And so I think that's just cool. So cool that something like music can bring people together. So I'm just so glad, from a, live show aspect, we're able to do that again, just unite people.
What is your favorite memory from playing a show?
Ooh, man. That's a good question. I haven't thought about that in a while. There's a few highlights. I got to say probably playing at the Grammys is a pretty cool highlight, because that's a pretty big world stage. You're like millions of eyeballs are watching and listening to what you're playing on stage, in that moment. And it can be kind of nerve-wracking because, we're on stage and the cameras are on us and you see everybody in the audience. And then, that camera feed is going to millions of people around the world. I better not mess up. Right. And so that was a fun memory, because it was one of those things where I just said in my brain, it's like, you know what? Just enjoy this moment, because how often do you get to be here playing this stage? So just have fun. and do your best.
What is your worst memory?
My worst memory, when you're on tour as often as I am, just touring, like every show is a little bit different. There are going to be technical difficulties and just things that happen that go wrong in a show. And so that's where that phrase comes from. The show must go on. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah. The show must go on because everybody knows that it's a given that something's going to go wrong. And there might be, you might have a few bad memories from a multitude of things that went wrong on various number of shows. But the thing that I found is the best takeaway from that is to, just learn from whatever went wrong and just kind of move forward and try to put it in a positive light as best as you can. Because it's not going to be the last thing to go wrong, And so now, if something goes wrong, I just shrug my shoulders and go, oh, well, we'll figure it out. It'll be good. Show must go on. So that's my answer.
Followers follow you.
Oh, say again.
How do my followers follow you?
Oh, so you can follow me on all the social media platforms. My handle is Mychael Gabriel, but Mychael with a Y. And my album is streaming on all platforms. So anywhere you listen to music, you can find it. It's called Genesis. And my latest single, Let There Be Light, can be streamed anywhere as well.
You're on death row and oh, sorry, my bad. Fun question time.
Oh, fun questions.
Okay.
All right.
You're on death row and it's time for your final meal. What's on the menu?
Ooh, man, dude, a food question. Okay, so I'm a foodie. So you're going to have to help me with this.
Okay.
Okay. So I love Mexican food. That's like my specialty. Like I can make it so well. I make enchiladas, tacos, burritos, like anything, you name it, I can make it. I make my own homemade tortillas. So I would probably lean towards something like that, like a homemade Mexican sort of feast. Tacos, yeah.
Wait,
but
quesadillas or quesadillas?
Yeah, quesadillas. That was Mexican. But I love pizza too. I love pizza. I've been to Italy. Like the pizza there is
bomb,
otherworldly. Yes. I also love hamburgers. I consider myself a hamburger connoisseur. And I love Thai food and I love ramen.
Instant ramen? Do you love that kind of stuff? Or you like ramen?
I instant ramen's okay, but I like ramen, like real ramen. Are you hip to that?
I actually like instant ramen because
you like instant ramen.
Yeah.
Well, it is gratifying because it's ready in like what 3-5 minutes.
Yeah,
and it does taste pretty good.
I've actually never had like a real ramen.
So okay, so next time you guys go out to eat, maybe make the suggestion. Just say, hey, let's see if there's a real like a ramen house nearby and try it. And you're gonna have to let me know what you think.
Don't they like put eggs in there and like
they do? They put some interesting stuff in there, but it is so good. And it like takes like 16 hours to make because I've tried making it at my house because I like experimenting in the kitchen myself. And so like to make the bone broth and everything. So think about it. Like instant ramen takes like 3 minutes, right? To make the bone broth and everything else that you need to do to make like a real Japanese style house ramen is like 16 hours. Imagine that.
They make like thousands.
Right. Well, so that's why like if you go to a ramen house, like that's normally what they specialize in is just ramen because like it takes so long to make it. So they just always have like the broth and everything ready to go.
If you could have any superpower, what would you choose?
Ooh, okay. I've given this one a lot of thought, and I'm pretty sure it would be telekinesis. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay. So with telekinesis, you can move things with your mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you have telekinesis, theoretically, you could have a number of superpowers, right? So if you can move things with your mind, that means you can move your own body. So you can fly, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you have telekinesis, that means you can put like a force field, an invisible force field around yourself or someone else, right?
Okay.
So you have force field powers. If you have telekinesis, you could propel yourself in any direction faster or slower, right? So then you got super speed as well. And then if you have telekinesis, you can, give the illusion that you have super strength. Like if you wanted to lift up a car with your bare hands, you can make people think that you're super strong just by lifting it with your mind, but it looks like your hands. So you could, pseudo super strength as well. I mean, you just get a couple different powers. And then the biggest one of all, and this is the most important, if you're on the couch and you want to change the channel or change the show, and the remote is all the way across the other room, you don't have to even get up. You just reach your hand.
That's one of the honestly, that's why I would get it.
That's the best one. That's the best one to me.
You know what I would do?
What
My
would you do?
superpower is either, now I'm starting to really think about it. I've been thinking about time stop, like unlimited time stop. I could stop time forever if I wanted to.
Dude, that would be sick though. That would be awesome.
You could get if you ever had a test or you needed to do anything, you could get all the answers.
Yeah.
Or if I
even if you wanted to savor a moment.
Yeah.
Let's say you really like just loved the moment that you were in, you could stretch that out and it would seem like years, as opposed to just a blip.
I could sleep in as much as I want and time wouldn't have moved. So that means I could sleep all the way technically to like 10 instead of waking up at 6:20. So
you would be so productive.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the other superpower that I'm thinking of is Shadow. Do you watch that show?
Oh, what's the show called?
Never mind. Naruto.
No.
Naruto. It's a weird show.
I haven't. I know. Is it anime?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yep. I know. I'm familiar with the show. Yep.
I would maybe actually have shadow clones. I could never go to school. And also, one of the powers of it is that when the shadow clone or the clone boosts, you get all the memories of it. So you basically still learn.
Dude, that is sick. So you could be in multiple places at once, and it's one mind though.
Yeah, it's basically
that's
like a hive mind. That's basically, but they technically are sentient. They can do what they want a little bit, but they still have the same mind as you.
Yeah.
So they'll do kind of what you want to do.
That's kind of cool. See, now I'm intrigued to check out this show.
So yeah, you could do whatever you want. I could just be playing games, never doing my homework. I would just be the best.
But you would still be like the smartest person in the world because you'd have your shadow clones out learning and doing things and being productive for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that. You know what? I don't know. You're kind of making my telekinesis superpower look kind of weak compared to your superpowers. That's pretty dope. I like that idea.
Technically, time stop can be the strongest superpower.
Yeah, I would agree.
Because you could stop time if you were ever in a fight, and you could just keep pounding on. With super speed, when they go so fast, time stops.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you could do with time stop. So if you ever wanted to, you could just start pounding on somebody, right. And as soon as you get it done, they're on the ground.
So my question is this: if you had time stop, how would you stop a rogue Superman? So let's say Superman went rogue, but you had time stop abilities. How would you defeat him?
I would just stop time forever, and then But would there be kryptonite though? Would there be kryptonite?
Ooh. I would say they would just have how about this? If Superman exists in your universe, that's a given that kryptonite must also exist in your universe because he comes from Krypton, right?
Yeah.
That makes logical sense, doesn't it? Okay, so we could argue that there is kryptonite. So you'd have time stop, and then you'd have to go find the kryptonite.
Basically, yeah. I'm not trying to sound like comment, but there's this thing called gold kryptonite where it could take Superman or Kryptonite's Kryptonian powers forever. They could take it away. So if I just stab him with that a couple of times, his powers are gone.
Then you're good.
So basically, if he's still standing after that, I could just freeze time and be like, pow, 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 pow.
So there we've decided for all the internet people, we've decided that's how you defeat Superman with time stop abilities.
It's finally over after like
Wow.
50 years.
50 years of people arguing on Reddit and all these platforms.
I don't know who does that.
See, all it took was us getting together to figure it out.
This is basically get gold kryptonite and have time
Yeah.
freezing powers, and that's it. Well, they're gonna say, well, Superman can technically freeze time too. You know, he broke the sound limit.
I know what you're talking about. Trust me, I know what you're talking, because I'm a big Batman fan. I'm a big Batman fan.
Same.
Yeah. You know, if I had to choose favorites, I would say I'd like Batman a bit more than I like Superman.
Same, honestly.
Yeah.
I wanted to despise Superman a little bit for some reason.
It's one of those things where as I've gotten older, I like Superman a little bit more, but in my younger years, I'm like, he's so much of a Boy Scout, you know? And I don't want to dog Superman. I like Superman, but I'm just gonna say I really admire Batman's mind, and his skills as a tactician, and how he's always like 10 steps ahead of everybody. I just think there's something cool about that.
He's technically the strongest member with prep time.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying this whole time.
He literally can take down the entire Justice League if he wanted to.
It's happened in the comics. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So what's the argument,
I mean, technically, Batman was even able to take out Darkseid, which was like just
and so what I've been saying, I'm like, can you imagine if Batman had even one actual superpower? Forget about it. It would be over.
What power do you think would best fit him?
Ooh, wow, it would best fit Batman. I mean, if you gave him any superpower, he would probably be the most powerful superhero of all comics. If you just gave him even one.
Maybe how would he work with time stop? I don't know.
Ooh, you know what? If he had time stop, forget about it, because then he would have unlimited prep time, literally unlimited prep time. He could just freeze time, prep as much stuff as he needed to, and then do whatever he wanted.
He could basically defeat gods if he wanted to then.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Batman's been hanging around demigods and all this stuff for years and years and years, and people want to debate whether he's a legitimate superhero or not. Get out of here with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, sorry, but we're done with the superhero.
I could talk about superheroes all day.
All day, same, man.
Yeah, I love it. I love the MCU. I love all superhero stuff. Yeah.
Let's say you could choose any song ever written by any band, and you can change that song to where you were the one who wrote it and it was your song. What song would it be and why?
Ooh, I don't know. There's too many songs to choose from because there's so many great songs that I'm discovering all the time. The cool thing about music is that's kind of what determines your sound as a musician, right? So like, I don't have a specific song or a very specific answer, but I will say we are like, as a musical artist or as a musician, we are what we're inspired by. What like part of a musician's job, I feel, is to kind of be a sponge, and to kind of be open to, new musical ideas and different vibes and genres and whatnot. And we, as a sponge, we soak up all of that information, and then we get a chance to express it in our own way. So that's kind of my roundabout answer.
Well, man, thank you for being on my show.
Jam man.
Oh my god.
I am so happy that you had me on your show. Yeah. We're going to have to do this again sometime.
No, I would love to.
We're going to have an whole episode dedicated to superheroes. Okay. That's what we're going to have to do.
I'm down with you.
No, for real.
I'm down. I'm
for real. Just hit me up.
Okay.
And we could just go through a list of questions, because I feel like the internet needs that. They need to hear from us, because we solved so many superhero arguments in just this short interview,
You go ahead, my bad.
No, so just imagine all the questions that people have had for years and years and years, we could just say, okay, we solved this. Here's the answer.
Wait, could time control beat cosmic armor Superman?
I don't know. You know what? People will just have to wait for the next episode, our superhero episode,
I think
to find out the answer.
Yeah. It's been a pleasure, man. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah,
Next time we're gonna be ranting about
Next man.
girls.
We got it.
Everything. Okay.
Everything.
I promise you that.
All right.
You have a good night.
All right. You have a good night too. Peace, Jam Man.
Peace. Oh, he's such a nice guy.